Hi everyone, we are live with L'Oreal and YouTube.
You don't mind, right? Just saw that you were in frame. It was like, oh no, didn't ask for permission yet. Thank you. Whee! Oh, look at the door. Got glitter on it. Wow. Hello, how are you? Oh, my bestie will be mad if I don't show her. Look at this, Michelle, I love you. I know, I was like, if I don't show my bestie that. Look at all the technology on the wall, it's cool too. Yeah. Thank you. They're like business casual. Oh no, wait. Oh my goodness. I love that. Oh. They're like business casual. I was like, that will be casual to bring down the business wear in my backpack. Ooh, the sun. What is this? Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm a gamer. Okay. Sorry, thank you. Ooh, food. Food. Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Yay! Hey! 20. Oh. Woo!
I need to feel the energy. How are you doing, guys? Oh my god, I'm so thrilled to be here today with you and so proud actually to share the stage with our dear friends from L'Oreal for that very first L'Oreal Star YouTube event in London. We're so happy to have you. Well, let me introduce myself. So I'm Marie Boucher. I'm Global Account Executive dedicated to L'Oreal, based in France, as you can guess, with my delightful accent. I'm French. And I have to admit, I am really impressed to be here. I don't have the occasion every day to be in front of 150 visual experts, like 150 creators. You like master the art of storytelling as more than anyone else, I think. So we have many universes represented today. So make some noise, or if you're shy, just raise your hand. How many beauty creators we have? Because I need one. Okay. How many fashion? Okay. Do you have travel? Okay. Lifestyle? Entertainment? Okay. And do we have a We're so happy to have you with us today, guys. So actually, we have planned a very busy agenda for today. But don't think that you're going to sit on your chair for 6 hours. No, we have plenty of mission for you. So this afternoon was designed. It's all about connection, about sharing, about inspiration. So first thing first, you are going to have with our dear L'Oreal Star team an introduction to the L'Oreal Star program and all the secret behind that. Then will be given by Hamza the key to...
What day is it? Friday. Everyone's Friday going. Yeah. I forgot my clicker. Okay, so I'm very aware we have a bit of a mix of a group of people. Can I just get a hands up or up? If you are a L'Orealista creator. There's a lot of you in the room. And a big group if you're a YouTube creator. Awesome, amazing. So, for those who don't know, I'm going to intro the fabulous platform that we have, that is L'Orealista. So we knew and we know that our brands really need some real love. And you guys also are craving our attention. And well, what's better than trying one brand? 40. We know you want to try the latest products. We hear you screaming, can I come to an event? And wouldn't it be a dream to be one of our brand campaigns?
Yeah.
Yeah. You deserve to be rewarded for your vision. In an age of fleeting attention where everything is disposable, we want to build relationships that last. We're making a conscious choice to prioritize connection ahead of conversion. We believe in a two-way conversation, collaborative versus instructing. You are valuable, and we want you to tell us what to do. We want you as our partners on our brand journey. Let's discover, uncover, and create together. And our promise to you, well, first, community, it's in my title. We want to grow with you and connect with you.
Up until the latest trends. We'll then look at multi-format strategies and what that means for you as a creator. We'll then dive into short tips for creators. I'm assuming most of you are actually short-form content creators. So we'll be doing a little bit of tips on that. And then we will finish with how to get started and some key action items after today, finished also with a Q&A. Before we get started, I'd love to get a little bit of a, sense of the room. So one thing that is for sure for YouTube is that we either have experienced YouTube, we either were born with YouTube, or we have, we grew up with YouTube to some extent. And after all these years, YouTube has always been at the epicenter of culture. So if you think about it, YouTube is the platform from everything from major cultural moments all the way to the latest trends. And it actually touches absolutely everyone that you can think about. There's probably not a single person that you know that isn't on YouTube or using YouTube. I can bet that as we speak, my grandma is currently watching videos. And there's no rule of thumb, there's no blueprint to say if you post at 9 and 12 and 4 and 8, that is going to do well. A lot of very, very big creators that we manage, I've actually asked them myself, like I said, is there a certain schedule that you do? And they said, honestly, whenever they feel like posting content, they post it. And they just don't think so much about the stress of the metrics afterwards. And so I think that's one approach that you can have to it, which is posting as much as possible and making yourself visible to the feed. The importance of consistency stems from the fact that there's a lot of content creation out there. And so the more visible that you are, the more audiences gravitate towards you and the more that you stay on top of mind, basically. So it's not that ultimately will alter the algorithm because you post more, etc. It's just that you're being more present. Imagine that the algorithm is Oxford Street here. If you go every single day, everyone is gonna see you every single day. If you go once a week, people remember you once a week, you know? So it's really about showing up where the audiences are. And so that is kind of one part of the answer, but the other part is what is sustainable to you, because it would be better for you to post 3 times a week and be authentic about it than 5 times a day because you force yourself. And again, it's that point about authenticity, where maybe you didn't feel like posting that, but you still did, right? On the second question, every platform operates with the same logic behind the algorithm, which is that the algorithm is your audience and responds to the audience signals. So it might be that on Instagram you have created a better matchmaking with your audiences, whereas on TikTok it's another story, and then on Shorts it's another story. But I absolutely love the idea of distributing content. It's something I encourage as well. I don't know if you guys heard of Repurpose.io. Yeah. I recently heard about it. One of the creators that I manage uses it. It's basically something that posts your content for you, and you can just schedule it and it just distributes it. So something like that, just takes the pain away from having to repost, etc. So Repurpose.io. Yeah, but there's a few services like that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. But thanks for the question.
Hello? Not working yet. Oh, it is working.
It is.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Can you guys still hear me as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, hi again. I am just so happy to already be back and to speak to you again, and also introduce our incredible panelists today. I am super thrilled. We have such a diverse kind of like range of conversation and topics that we'll cover. But I think first it would be great to hear about you guys first, and I guess who you are, what your content is about, what your channel is about. Give it to us.
Cool. Hello everybody, how are we doing?
Great.
How are you? Oh good, good. Any hairdressers in the room? Oh amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, I mean I started my YouTube channel in lockdown. Our salon's closed down. I'm a hairdresser by trade and I still work behind the chair. And when lockdown hit I just needed another income. I needed something to develop and then grow and if it ever happened again to maintain revenue. So that's when I started Paul Watts Hair on YouTube. It was like 5 years ago. So
Nice.
yeah,
Amazing. What about you, Rico?
So my journey is a little bit of a random one because I know a lot of people always speak about like old school YouTubers, and I actually didn't start watching YouTube until 2 weeks before I started my own YouTube channel. So I sort of stumbled upon YouTube, and I was like, what do you mean? Like I can put this video up online instead of having to FaceTime my mom and make her watch my try-on hauls. I can just put it online, and so I started in 2017 alongside a full-time job, and just never looked back.
Amazing. Adama?
Yeah, so I started YouTube about 6 years ago, just as I was coming out of university. I guess like a lot of people, I was kind of obsessed with the platform and watching it, but I had a desire to be on the other side. And so I just kind of started sharing my journey. If I learned something from a book, if I learned something from uni or just a life experience, I had a desire to share that and from giving that space in long-form content. And over time, it kind of evolved into what's now a channel for what I see as the modern Renaissance woman, so a woman who has multiple passions and interests, but is also ambitious with those and is looking for ways that they can find synergy and progress in them. I myself am an engineer and a content creator. I started painting as well, and I just don't see why we should put these limits on ourselves. But with my engineering background, I'm able to bring a bit more structure and systems thinking to the personal development space. So I guess that's my journey so far.
Amazing. I feel like we should tell them the first time we met. So Adama and I actually met at the Brit Awards, which is something I love to say. It was amazing. We were sitting next to each other, and then yeah, I couldn't wait to see her again. But yeah,
It's been great.
Yeah.
They arrived by boat, guys.
Cool. So a little icebreaker before we get into it. Obviously, you know, YouTube has been celebrating its 20-year anniversary this year. What's your favorite video on YouTube?
God.
Yeah, sorry. You want me to start?
Yeah.
Please.
Because I already know the answer to mine. Mine is the VMA performance of Lady Gaga in 2007. Yes. Please check it out. It has about 49 million views. I'm responsible of 48. It's really great. It was re-released as Ultra HD, like I think 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah, watch it. Watch it. What about you guys?
I
I actually
mean,
have one now.
oh, go for it.
I think, so I could be incorrect, but I believe that the first woman of colour to have a music video on YouTube was Go Pele,
Okay.
and she has a song called Closer, so that would be my favourite video.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favourite song too.
Yeah.
One of.
Oh yeah, I've got one. It was that one where it's like, ow, Charlie bit me.
Charlie, bit your finger.
We always put it inside the logo.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I can't really think of one particular video. I guess one creator that stands out for me though was maybe Ali Abdaal.
Mhm.
And I just like his whole journey in general and his videos, the way he carries himself and things like that. I mean, I think I was inspired so much by him to bring a lot of that into like the personal development space for women. So maybe not a video, but as a creator, I think
Yeah.
he's somebody that
Yeah.
his videos I look up to.
Cool. It's a great answer.
Yeah.
And so I guess, you know, we talked earlier about, you know, you being memorable as a creator, but then also having creators being memorable to you. So like you just mentioned one that is very memorable to you, and we mentioned those videos as well. What's your approach when you're creating content on YouTube? I know you're all incredibly authentic and you're all extremely passionate. And so it's very much the themes that we saw in the presentation just now. Like I can see that across all of your different journeys, even if they're different. What's your approach to it? Like, when you create your programming, are you spontaneous or do you plan it? Maybe Paul, you can start.
Yeah, I'm literally no planning. So I'll be working in the salon. This is how it all kicked off for me anyway. I'll be working in the salon. I remember my video that this just hit 5 million, and I do long form as well, by the way. We were all leaving the salon and all the team were going, and I just remembered I need to film a video. So I was like, see you later, team. I went down to my basement in the salon where my studio was, and I went on Google and I typed in hair trend, and then the wolf cut come up, and then I watched a couple and it was just like a unicorn haircut. So I thought, as a hairdresser, we needed more layering. Yeah. So it was a case of right, we'll do 2, because that'll make more layers. And then that's how I discovered my niche. It was a case of reverse engineering haircuts. Like on the salon floor, I'll be doing technical all day, every day. And then when it comes to my YouTube channel, I love to make it so simple that babies could understand it. So there's a real thing with apprentices at the minute in the industry, and they're not understanding trends to its core, and being able to reverse engineer it and then go professional salon floor. That's how I developed, and it was basically a lot of my videos now. It is a case of thinking as I'm filming.
Yeah, nice. What about you?
That's rogue.
Yeah.
Because I definitely plan my content out. But as I've mentioned to you guys, I started my content creator journey whilst working a full-time job. So I didn't really have the time to I had to be a bit more diligent with the planning. So now the great thing about YouTube is obviously there's multiple formats and mediums for you to upload, which is great. And some of them require less prior planning than others. If you're mainly a long form content creator, I would advise you to maybe, unless you have the time and the creativity to just create on whim and wing it, which is also depending on your skill set, right? Your skill set is your hands, so you're ready to go. Whereas if I'm doing a fashion video or a beauty video, I need these products in place. Someone mentioned earlier that a package came, it didn't come, they need tracking. That is me. I'm sitting tracking 1 million parcels every day. So for me, I need to give it a little bit more prior planning. But YouTube is a great platform for that, because if I want to be spontaneous, I'll do a short.
Yeah.
So yeah, a mixture of planning and winging it, maybe ish.
What about you?
I definitely think there's a little bit more planning for me, so maybe somewhere in between. So I don't have scheduled content for maybe the next several months, but I do like to understand what I'm going to be talking about and have a rough bullet points, just so that I stay on track. And I think that helps when you're thinking also about thumbnails and titles, which I think as I progressed through my YouTube journey, I understood how important those are, because I really learned that you can make the best video ever with long form, but if nobody clicks on it and nobody ever knows what's in there. And that's why I think the prior planning can be really helpful in your YouTube journey. Just having an idea about this is what's going to be in it, but what would the packaging for this look like in order to maximize the chances that somebody's going to click and get through to it. So yeah, I say in between for me, but when I am more consistent, I know that we hear it all the time, but when I'm more consistent, that is when I see the better, increase in subscribers or retention and things like that. So yeah, but it's seasonal.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to stay on this last point that you made. So you are definitely the thumbnail and title queen. That's for sure. If you guys check out her channel, straight away, every video is calling you. It's saying you wanna watch this, then you wanna watch that, etc. How did you master that art, and what's your pro tips for thumbnails and titles? Because it's so important.
It really is, and it's not easy at all to understand what's going on. But I say partly it's a little bit of researching what's out there already and what's working, maybe not even just in your category or whatever niche or anything you want to categorize yourself like that, but other ones, and how you can play with the title maybe from another video that's done well in one niche, but take your spin on it, because there's probably something in the title that's more to do with human psychology as opposed to the niche. That's what a lot of this is. It's about how are you either getting somebody to feel a particular type of way or be curious enough to click on the video. So the human psychology means that you can find so much inspiration across different niches, I would say. Thumbnails, they take a little bit more work, I think, as well, because sometimes you think, oh, this is great, and then you're actually, no one wants to do it. But I think, again, it's a lot of playing with different types and formats, now with A/B testing as well, which has made it so much easier for creators to try out different formats or try out different thumbnails and titles, and see what is working and have the data behind it to support it. So definitely using those features, I think now, when I started that wasn't there, but it's something that I use a lot now to try and get that data.
Amazing. And then working backwards, Rico, you mentioned multi-format as well. So when you're spontaneous, you do shorts, but then you plan your longs. Do you have a strategy that links everything together and creates an ecosystem around your personal brand?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, YouTube kind of has these really great parameters to support creators, right? They have these training wheels. So if you do a short, for instance, you can link it to a long form video, which I think is great.
Yeah.
You can link shorts to other shorts. And yeah, like you said, it's a really great framework for a great ecosystem whereby you can sort of like feed one video into another, into another, into another. So for instance, I have a Primark come shop with me going live today. I can put a card in it which will link to a short and vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely use all of the different platforms or different mediums within the platform to kind of create a loop, as you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's really good to know. And then again, you know, working sort of backwards. Paul, you've been a content creator for now 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So since COVID. It sounds like, so I don't know if you guys know, but apparently there's a quote that says that your creativity is most unleashed when you're at the most sort of like peaceful state.
Okay.
Right? And you'll see where I'm getting to.
Okay.
So for example, when you're sleeping and you dream about something, it's because you're relaxed and then that creativity gets elevated. When you're showering, you're relaxed. When you go for a walk, you're relaxed. When you talk to your best friend, you're relaxed. And so all these things are very important for like your mental health in general, but also to kind of like nurture your creativity. And as the opposite, when you're very stressed and when you're working and like 9 to 5, etc., your creativity is like just not like breathing, you know?
Yeah.
Lockdown is a time where a lot of people became content creators.
Yeah.
And so it kind of comes from this theory, right? Because of course, like the word was, you know, going bad, but at the same time, we had kind of like time to breathe, and everybody was just at home and left with themselves, you know. So it sounds like your creativity was unleashed from there. What to somebody that would start today? How would you? What advice would you give them, basically?
Just if you're unprepared, just start. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. Like, you've got a phone, you can go and find a window, you can find a quiet room, quiet space, just start filming. Plan it if you want to plan it. I'm not saying I don't plan, I'm like the nerd with data. Yeah, like I've got a studio in my house now, I've got teleprompters, so I've got text coming at me all the time, like I've got multiple cameras all around the room, so like there is a lot of planning that goes into it, but a lot of my ideas are very spontaneous, and I think it comes from working on the salon floor still. Like, I work 7 days a week as a hairdresser. I work internationally Sunday to Tuesday. I fly back, work in the salon Wednesday to Saturday. I'll then fly again on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday I'll be working abroad. Wednesday to Saturday I'll be back in the salon, and so on. And then people always say to me, well, how do you get time to do content? And I do content when I finish work. Like, that's it, basically.
Or at work sometimes.
Or at work.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't, and the reason for I don't want to break the relationship with my clients. A lot of people often say, do it on a real person, why do you always do it on a mannequin head? And I can do whatever I want with mannequin heads, for however long I want to do it. But with a client, I don't want them to not to talk to me, like, as openly, and I want the relationship to continue. And I feel that if I said to a client, like, oh, can I film today? They'd look just like this. And I don't want that. I want it to be like the relationship that I've built up over, like, what is it now, like nearly 20 years in the industry, and enjoy it day to day in the salon. And then when I go home and start to film my content, that's where I mean, nobody likes to hear that answer, to be honest, that it's like 7 days, and that is it cliche, where it's like you work your 9 to 5 to build your like 6 to 11 or something like that. I don't necessarily do that. I just enjoy working, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, my advice, I started on my phone, I started with a window, and that was it, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like your passion has fueled it, you know?
Totally, like this is 100% a passion project, and I don't feel like I've got a job, which is crazy because I work ridiculous hours, and I don't feel like I work.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk, I guess, brand partnerships. So we'll start with you, Paul.
Okay.
Over your career, have you had any brand partnerships so far?
Yeah.
How did you approach them? Did you like contact the brand? Did they contact you?
It's quite hard because I feel as a hairdresser, hair industry aren't really adoptive of YouTube. They always come to me and I'm like pushing on nearly 250,000 subscribers, and they're like, how many have you got on Instagram? Or how many you got on TikTok? I'm like, I'm not a TikToker, and I don't do Instagram, sort of thing. My brand is on there, but it's not where I invest my time. My time is on YouTube.
Yeah.
So the hair industry is quite funny, which is why I'm quite interested to pick up today, and also to see trends, what makeup's doing and beauty, to see if I can like cross it over slightly. But my brand partnerships have been like hair colour demonstrations, where it's like you're doing an actual demonstration of value or an educational piece. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Scissors, like I work with scissor companies, I work with brush companies, but I'm sort of like in a contract, which is what I do abroad with a brand, which is quite hard for me to then come away to work with any other brand in the industry, which is what I'm actually trying to explore.
Yeah. And so, do you contact the brands, or do they come to you?
Yeah, they normally come to me.
Okay.
To be honest, imposter syndrome is like mega. Like I don't feel like I'm there yet to be approaching brands.
Yeah.
They like, I'm just like, oh, if you want to use me, so use me.
I'm more than I would recommend like really doing it actually.
Yeah.
I'd recommend like going to brands, to everyone here as well. Like it takes a cold email. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't take anything from you. And don't have imposter syndrome.
No.
Like I know it's like sounds
It's the
easier.
thing.
Like you know.
It's
but,
easier
like,
if they come to you.
But believe in yourself, you know. Like because that's how everybody does it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. I want to hear from you. Have you done any brand deals, brand partnerships?
Yes, I have, and to piggyback off of what you were saying, sometimes I do outreach, and sometimes I'm fortunate enough to have inbound. I think for me the great thing about YouTube, and again, not to sound like a broken record, but when that brand does approach you now, if you're a YouTube content creator and you can create long form and short form content, you have a little bit more of a bargaining tool and a bit more of a bargaining chip, because you can upskill everything, right? They might come to you for something small and you might be like, well, hey, I can put it in a long form video, I can put it in a short form video, I can put it as a community post. And I think the great thing about YouTube is that you have this audience who are loyal to you, who know when you upload, and it gives you the opportunity to speak to brands and say, hey, like, let's do a 2 or a 3 month. I can compare the clicks that I get via YouTube to the clicks that I'll get on other platforms. And the content on YouTube is so much more data rich. I think obviously we all sat through the prior session and we got, you know, those amazing stats, and YouTube is great at looking at the analytics and doing all of that hard legwork for you. So really as a creator, it's longer to edit, yes, but I think the ROI, or the return on investment, is much greater on YouTube. And I think going into 2026, being privy to some of the things that you guys are going to be rolling out is definitely going to keep going on an upward trajectory. So yeah, inbound and outbound, it depends. I'm like an intuitive and energetic person, so it depends how I'm feeling. For the rest of the year, I won't really be doing much outbound, apart from for L'Oreal. I'll be a bulldog. But yeah, a little bit of a mixture of the two, really.
Amazing. And then Adama, you share?
Yeah, sure. So most of the brand deals that I've done have been inbound, so they kind of found me online. One thing I kind of struggled with, which a lot of creators do, is pricing yourself. I think that can be really challenging to do. And I think it's a bit of an iterative process. So sometimes you start with a number, and then the brand comes back and they're like, yeah, you're like, I probably should have upped that a little bit. You know, it's a bit too quick. And so the next time you kind of maybe go up a little bit. But one thing that really helped me as well was being around other creators who were open about, like, in those circles, what they were making. And I was like, wait a second, you had how much?
Wait a minute.
Like, and I think that kind of emboldened me to kind of say my price and like keep putting it up and putting it up. I do think though it helps that because I've been an engineer alongside my content creation, I can walk away from the table, which gives you a lot of power, I think. Like, one time I remember I put what I thought was maybe an outrageous 5-figure thing there, and I was like, well, I didn't have it anyway, and if I don't get it, it's not really a big loss. And then they came back with something that wasn't quite that, but pretty close, and I think that was like a mind-blowing moment for me. And I don't think it's not at all about exploiting the brand or the brand exploiting the creator at all. What I think is if you understand your position and the value that you bring as a creator, and it's not just a factor of the numbers at all. Like that's something I also realized. It is about who your audience is, how much they trust you, and how much weight your voice carries, because that's, to a brand, can be incredibly powerful. And I think that's why smaller creators are also seeing quite a rise in brand deals and brand partnerships, because there's this understanding that in the sea of content and big creators, actually might be you who's a smaller creator who could actually make that connection on a much greater level, I'd say. So, yeah.
100,000%. Like +1 to everything that you said. You know.
Something there about knowing your worth.
Yes.
As well.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. There's also like I think the biggest takeaway from what you said. Like I think a lot of creators sometimes feel like the brand is the brand and the creator is the creator.
Yeah, and you forget
But
that
the creator is the creator, you know?
Yeah.
People are
And,
there for you.
yeah.
So.
And it's you get like digital real estate space, which is the way that I call it, and your audiences trust you, like we saw, like the numbers are there, you know. A follow-up question on this though, I hear a lot from creators that there's something they wish somebody told them before they started. Okay, so before they started brand deals or before they started their content creation, I'd love to ask you guys this question. Particularly with brand deals, I think, like, for example, one thing I heard is the dynamics of like understanding the brief and talking about the brief of the brand, etc. Are there any pro tips that something you would tell yourself 5 years ago?
Yeah, like with brand deals, I think authenticity over aesthetics like beats it every time. To be honest, from trying to create cinematic and really that perfect picture, like if you're authentic, people are going to buy into it. I think that's one of the biggest things for me when it comes to any brand deal or any content I put out. It's just having that personality with it.
I would say brand deal wise, read over your contract, literally look for the word perpetuity. If you ever see it, cross it out. No, for real though. So yeah, perpetuity. And then I think also just in terms of like collaborating in general, like have your vision board, have the brands that are on your vision board. Everything within creator, you know, work is quite nuanced, so that it can be difficult to be like a one hard fast rule type thing. So yeah, if you're a creator and you have your dream brands that you want to work with, perhaps, you know, in order to get on their radar, maybe you might leave some money on the table, maybe you might walk away, and then maybe in 3 months' time, you know, that brand will come back to you at a, you know, more favourable rate, because you know your worth and you're holding true to your worth. So yeah, perpetuity, Control F, delete, and then yeah, everything's nuanced within the creator economy.
I think with brand partnerships, I'd say maybe don't box yourself in so much with the type of brands that you think you can work with. I think you can get quite creative with these types of collaborations. And actually, if brands are trying to reach new audiences and you're worried that, okay, maybe I don't do beauty exclusively or I don't do finance exclusively, but they don't want to keep talking to people who are just watching finance videos. They probably have already tapped into those anyway. So if they're trying to expand, then maybe that's an area that you could kind of fill that gap or fill that void, right? Because maybe your audience could be interested in this sort of stuff. In fact, they probably are, but actually they want to hear it maybe from you, and you're the trusted source in that sense. And so I think expanding the type of brands or the industries that you think you can work with can be really beneficial in terms of expanding.
Cool.
Wow, that sounds very great. So I'm lucky enough to work across all 4 of our incredible LD brands as the senior community manager. And we have Jade, our incredible skin expert. So she is going to be answering all your questions today. So for the next half an hour, she is yours. And I'm bringing back the I actually play netball, so I should be better at throwing and catching, but who knows?
This is a FaceTime. Hello everyone. How are you all doing today? Let's turn this on me. Bear with me a second, I have to wear this. Put it on me, guys. Alright, there we are. I'm going to have to rejoin the call. How is everyone today? Having fun?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. We are going to take you through a bit of a mixed bag, bit of skincare, bit of makeup, and then everything else in between because we have the king of content over here.
And of course we've got the queen of skincare, Miss Sarah.
The Beyonce of skincare.
Oh, Miss Skincare, Miss Sarah. I'm trying to get the makeup.
I can't enjoy the experience.
As you said, Kim just apologised for the chaos. It's just about to get even more chaotic. You know me and Sarah, we do love.
We do. We took all of our makeup off for you guys so that we can start from scratch.
So,
take you on that journey.
This is going to be a super interactive call as well. Where's that little box? Can that little box in there, Sarah? We're going to chuck that around the room. Oh. Do you want makeup, I guess? Can you see me now? Come in here. There we are, that's better. I'm up on the screen. Yes, amazing! Let's get started. This is obviously a makeup masterclass, but it's a little bit different. We're going to be talking about confidence on camera and talking to the camera. I feel like everyone speaks about how much balls it takes to speak to a room full of people, but no one actually talks about how daunting it is to talk to yourself and a phone. So, Sarah, what are we starting with? Because you're the skincare expert, I'm more of a makeup girl.
Guys, you have got the most glorious goodie bags today, and you have at least one L'Oreal Paris skincare in there. So we're going to start by cracking up what I'm going to use, and I'm not going to use it directly on my skin. Actually, I think I will. Well, we have two. This one you can only enjoy. Under your eyes. This is going to be your eye serum, and you really want to, on a nice clean skin, we've literally just washed our faces. I'm going to roll it back and forth. You've got a triple stainless steel roller ball there, and it actually is working on the shiatsu pressure points for anyone that wants to get a bit bougie. It's going to help to lift that eye area. But the formula at the same time, it's got niacinamide in there and hyaluronic acid, so you get brightness and you get the hydration. Now, I never get any pilling with this. Some people say it does pill, but I want you to look at how I'm applying it. I'm spreading it over my face. I'm not just concentrating it in one area. I think if you do that, I have had it peel years ago, but so I'm just going to show you one dip under the eye, all the way to the edge to my temple.
Wow,
and
so nice,
back over. Check you out. So once we've got our eyes on, I always start with my eyes first because actually skin around the eyes is so much thinner that what you will find is if you put your full face serum on, it can actually absorb into that eye area, and you'll probably already see that I'm going a bit red there. Very, very sensitive skinned. I'm oily and I'm blemish prone, but I'm very sensitive too.
I'm very sensitive as well, and I do find this hyaluronic range does not irritate my skin at all. It's so good.
Suitable for sensitive eyes. It is not the same formula as our dropper serum. It is a separate serum. This absolutely is suitable for everyone. I've never met anyone that doesn't get on with it. It's a firm fave. Chuck it. Why is it your fave? I'm so sorry if I knocked someone out. Sorry!
Right, I've just sat my products up. One little note for you guys, make sure you're putting your products forward when you're filming your content.
Forward face. Forward face.
It's not on, guys, it's not on, but I'm loud enough. It's my favourite. As soon as I use it, it transforms my skin instantly.
We love that!
I think we're all overestimating my skill set.
Should I do it for you?
I think this is what I do to create the illusion that I have a lifted face. There is no technique involved, but it does work. No, this is your True Match concealer with 1.5% hyaluronic acid. And I'm not just saying this because I work for L'Oreal Paris. A few people have mentioned it today. This concealer doesn't go cakey anywhere. You can blend it in completely. although I don't like it. Well, no, I'll do it really quickly. It blends out really, really easily. You don't get any lines, and it keeps your skin hydrated. You don't get those lines of concealer there. You know, if you were to use something, there's still full coverage, and you'll see on my under eye area how brilliant that coverage is.
We have joining us from our PPG team, professional stylist Chloe, who is about to join the stage. We ready?
So we're just quickly setting up what we are going to do today. I'm a hairstylist, first and foremost, turned content creator. So I have been a hairstylist for 15 years, which actually sounds mental when I say that out loud. But yeah, 15 years, and I then became a hairstylist educator. So I worked for a global leading hair care brand, educating on the styles and the tools and the looks. And essentially over, I want to say 7, maybe even 8 years ago now, I started just putting my own videos out there, because that's what I was doing in my normal day job. So I go into salons and I teach how to create the styles and how to use different products. And yeah, so about 7, 8 years ago, I started posting on my own. I did start on a different platform. I won't name the platform, but it was before, way before TikTok came along, way before Reels came out, and it was at a point where we could only post 60-second little square videos. So yeah, for me at the time, I'm used to going in and talking someone through a style, maybe like, I'd take like an hour minimum, and at the time I'm thinking, how am I going to talk through a whole style and literally edit that down to 60 seconds? But that was like a really nice comfort zone for me. Once I'd learned how to do it, it was like a good comfort zone. A few other bows in the audience, a few other people were at the other hair care event earlier today. So I just need to take this little bow out. But what I am going to be showing you guys, whilst we are setting up here, one of my, I guess one of the things I kind of became known for on social, and one of the things that mainly grew my platforms, was curling with a straightener. It's one of those things, and I guess it's from, as being a hair educator, it's one of the things I always get asked about. I'm always teaching, even professional hairstylists, teaching them how to do it, because it's something you actually don't learn as a professional. It's more like a modern technique, I guess. So yeah, we're going to be curling with a straightener. I'm going to be creating some gorgeous, loose, festive, glossy waves with our steam pod. We're all ready to go. Perfect. So I'll be teaching you the technique. Let me just make sure we're on. So with my steam pod, has anyone got steam pod? Oh, big fan over there. Do you love it? Oh. What temperature do you use it at?
180.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm setting mine to. So yeah, I do love to use my tools on dry hair. 180 or about 185 really. What I'm gonna do, what's gonna be the best way for me to set up, guys? Here, probably on here. And let me just set my phone up here as well. So usually, I would just shoot through the back camera. And I just kind of position my phone in a way, it's kind of slightly off, but then I can just see through the mirror my reflection, so I can still check what I'm doing, check I'm kind of within the grid. I always like to shoot with the grid format as well. So obviously I can't show you kind of my full setup, how I'd be shooting normally. So just in this circumstance, because I don't have a mirror, I'm just going to be using my front camera just to actually see what I'm doing today. If that's okay with everyone. Who here uses heat protection for your style? Yeah. Who skips it sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Or when's everyone applying your heat protection? Are you applying it on like hair wash day?
Yeah.
Oh, every time you, okay, perfect answer. Because I speak to a lot of people and they maybe apply kind of everything on hair wash day, but then on day 2, when pretty much most of us are going to kind of go over our hair again on day 2, but then some people aren't reapplying it on kind of second day hair because your hair's dry and you're kind of like, a bit awkward, I don't really know how to like work around that. So I would say the best thing to do, obviously my hair's dry at the moment, I did wash it earlier, just kind of did it kind of a smooth blow dry. My hair is naturally quite wavy. So what I would do on day 2 hair, there's so many products out now that contain heat protection. So I do love kind of an aerosol based product. So if you can get a product that goes onto dry hair, super easy, makes your life super convenient. But with these products today, if you do have something more of like a water wet based spray, so these products I'm just going to show you now. So you see how it's quite wet? It's not like, whereas this, obviously hairspray, that's like an aerosol based spray. So we've got a flex plea here. I'm going to pop that in for hold factor, so we'll come on to that in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to pop in this product. This is the all-in-one performer. So this, let me just get it going, it's a brand new one. So this is actually a brand new product out. It's one of those products that I would describe it as like a primer for your hair. It protects from heat, it smooths, detangles. It basically does so many things in one. So as it is a wet product, I am just going to spritz a little bit into my hair, but we are going to just need to quickly dry it in. And one of my, I would say, like a pet peeve, I would say to people who do have heat damage, a lot of us do have heat damage, and then I'll say, oh, are you applying heat protection? The answer is always yes. And I'll say, how much are you applying, or like wherever you're applying it to? And I'll get kind of a client or someone to show me. And normally they'll say, oh yeah, I do like this, like, I've done 4 sprays. But guess where those sprays have literally landed? It's gone like there, literally on the top layers of my hair. So it's so important you are spraying your products throughout your hair effectively. So I'll just use my fingers, especially if I'm in a rush, like I'm not gonna do any kind of fancy sectioning here. First section I always take top of ear. That's like a really good reference point if you're taking sections throughout your hair. And then I will take, and this smells amazing by the way, I'm just gonna spritz. Again, you don't wanna go too close on dry hair because we don't wanna like wet the hair down and it be too sticky. So I'm kind of gonna go, I tend to say like an arm's length distance, and I'll go like 1, 2, 3. But kind of the amount of sprays will completely depend on your hair length. Obviously, if you've got a bob, you might just want to do 1, 2. But it's so important that we're kind of taking these like lateral sections and you're layering up that product and not just spritzing it on the top layer of hair, which I find so many people do. So you can probably see that's kind of like dampened my hair down a little bit. So if you are applying like a wet base spray into dry hair and it is a little bit damp, you definitely don't want to go and use your straightener or your curling wand on damp hair. Definitely needs a little bit of drying in. One of the worst things you can do is actually go in and use like a temperature of 180, 200 when your hair is this damp like this. Does anyone like put heat on their hair and then they've heard the dreaded sizzle? Yeah, not good. Really not good. I'm just gonna go on do not disturb mode to stop my YouTube notifications coming through. So now my hair's kind of protected, but main thing I would always say when your hair is damp, obviously on hair wash day, I've like layered on way more than that and blow dried that in already. When your hair's damp, it can actually afford to take a lot more product, because when your hair is damp, the cuticle, which is the outer layer of the hair, is open. It can literally absorb so much product. So just bear that in mind. Like kind of go in on your damp hair, and then on dry hair you kind of like do more little touch-ups. So now this spray, has anyone heard of Flex Plea?
No. Yeah.
Oh, a couple of hands. Yeah. This is literally like a hair stylist viral favourite product. And I feel like people are starting to hear about it now on TikTok, because a few of us are talking about it on TikTok. But it is so good. It is, honestly, it doesn't make the hair sticky, it doesn't make the hair tacky. So lightweight, but it is that product that gives your hair the hold. And do you sometimes hear us as like hairstylists say, you need a product for hold and grip? Have you heard a hairstylist say that before? No, maybe? I feel like sometimes as hairstylists can talk in like lingo and you're like, what are you on about? But basically you just want a product that's actually going to make your curl or your wave hold. And that's probably one of the biggest questions I get asked is, why is my curls not holding? Why are my waves not holding? And I'll say, well, what have you prepped in your hair? And most people have got like a lovely smoothing blow dry spray, or they've got like an oil in their hair. And I always put those in for sure. But that's kind of more hair care or smoothing. So you definitely want a product that's actually going to give you the grip and the hold. And that's what Flex Plea does, but super lightweight. So again, I kind of misting that in, very similar. just going to comb that through. So also, whenever I've applied any product to my hair, whether it's damp, whether it's dry, I'm always combing that through, just to make sure, again, you're kind of spreading it throughout. So now it's almost, I mean, say if you were just to leave your hair for like 10 minutes, if you do your makeup, get dressed or whatever, that would just dry in, but obviously if you're in a rush, we're just going to quickly dry on top of that. So I just go in with my hairdryer and kind of just dry that in. So just super, super quick. And then another question I get asked loads is about sectioning. And I mean, hopefully this is going to be so relevant to all of you because you're all going to be styling your own hair. That's why I feel like actually tutorials like this are kind of so much more helpful for you guys rather than me bringing a model on and doing a model's hair, because I feel like you get more just by actually seeing someone else style their own hair. And hopefully guys, this is going to inspire you to do your own hairstyling tutorials. So what I always love to do, we actually never really reach around and style it on the back, so let's face it, you can't see what you're doing at the back, and you can't really reach at the back. So I literally split my hair into two, and everything always comes round to the front. So super, it doesn't matter how much hair you've got, because some of you have got way thicker hair than me, some of you have got longer hair than me, some of you have got shorter hair than me, and less hair than me. But literally everyone's hair will split into two, bring it round to the front. We're just over-directing everything round to the front. And again, I talked about the ears being a great marker. Top of the ear, I always love to take that as my first sectioning pattern. I love to use a clip just quickly to section, or again, if you've got like a tail comb like that, that's great to take sections. So we want to be taking like horizontal sections. So I just use my clip here, but then you want it to reach all the way around the back of the head. So that's going to be my first section, and I'll just twist that, clip that up. And especially when I'm creating content, I mean obviously you guys know creating content, but if I'm styling my hair at home and I'm in a rush, I probably wouldn't even clip it up that neatly, but when I'm styling, I'm creating a video, I kind of like to make these little buns as well when I'm sectioning and just make it look just cute and neat so it doesn't look super messy. So yeah, for the kind of leading hair brand I was on about, and we did shoots a lot. And one of the biggest things I learned, in just in terms of like making neat content, and one of my pet peeves as well, have you ever seen, probably some of you do it, but when you're heat styling and this wire, oh look, there's one already, there's a little knot in it, but it's like knotted and tangly, that is like rule number one, that's a big no-no. And it's funny because even if like a content isn't branded content, but honestly I've just got such an eagle eye, I just see all of these things now. So yeah, wire and cable super nice and neat and long and not tangling. And a lot of that is just how you wrap it up and how you store it. And another thing as well, when you are actually heat styling, so say I'm going to come here and like do this curl here, you see the wire's just like going to be dangling in my face. Again, that's something I would just never do that if I'm shooting content. Or I always tuck the wire behind me, so it's just nice and neat. Always tuck it behind my elbow. And then if I'm reaching up and over, it just looks so much neater. So I think definitely you can have different sections, and especially because you've got more hair than me, but just to even whatever sections, they're just nice and neat little buns. And I think sometimes it's hard when you are creating content because you can't see it, especially if you're say like a meter away from the mirror or whatever, but you look back and even, just if one hair is dangling, or say like sometimes there's little dangling hairs here, you always notice it back on the content. So yeah, shooting content probably takes me 3 or 4 times longer than if I was actually doing it myself or doing it on a model. But yeah, I definitely think it's important to have neat hair and neat content when we're shooting hair content. But it's the same for makeup though, right? Isn't it?
It's easier for makeup, but then when you're doing your hair, you're really having...
There's a lot more to think about when you're doing hair. There really is. I'm gonna start by doing this first curl, just so I can show you the technique, just so I don't run it massively over. So what we're gonna do, so I am, okay, camera's coming out now. I am gonna hold flat iron in this right hand, come up and over. So almost with this, you're holding your flat iron kind of a bit upside down on a bit of a diagonal angle. So up and over, it's on kind of a bit of a diagonal. Close it in the plates there. Everyone see that on that side. So I'm going to close it in here, and then I'm straight away going to get one full rotation, finger and thumb on the end of the plates there, and then I'm just gliding down, kind of like on a little 45-degree angle. And I always like, that's just the little hairdresser twizzle. We always do that. Just like twizzle that curl round after you've done that. Now, I'm gonna swap hands. This is where I lose some people. But to genuinely get the exact same technique, you do need to swap hands when you are hairstyling, because there's literally no way. Let me just put this back in my right hand. If I'm trying to replicate that same angle here, like, it's just really, really awkward. You'll probably pull a muscle as well, and it looks really awkward on camera. So gonna swap hands. Who is like ambidextrous in the room, so you can use both right and left hands? Oh, okay, you guys will be fine with this then. Those of you who aren't, so say if you're like really, you've really got like one hand that's more dominant, a really good tip for that, if you brush your teeth with the other hand, do it for like 2 weeks straight, and then you like become so much more kind of able to work in your opposite hand. So exact same technique, opposite hand, holding it in my left hand now. I'm going to come up and over. You should be able to see this one a bit better as well. Close the hair in the plates. I'm going to straight away get one full wrap and rotation in at the root. Finger and thumb on the end there. And we are gliding down. But I'm kind of keeping it on a bit of like a 45-degree angle. So general rule of thumb, it's really interesting because when I was at school, maths was my worst subject.
Packing everything, but I'm taking the vote for them. Thank you.
And if I can also have the L'Oreal team, community managers, advocacy managers, the SAMI team, please can you all come on stage? We're going to give a big round of applause. One of my favorite things about working at L'Oreal is the people, and you are now part of that community. So thank you very much for coming today. Another big round of applause. We also have drinks prepared for you.
I'm at the Laurier store. I was like, how do I say Laurier store? Event. We're at the Google headquarters today, and I am with Everest.
Everest, yeah.
Everest. I'm gonna have Everest introduce themselves and tell you about their content.
I'm a 26-year-old drag queen / makeup artist from Sheffield, up north in the UK, and my content is basically just that: doing drag, makeup, creative, colourful stuff. Yeah.
But make sure to follow Everest. Thank you.